Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of An Unlikely Friendship. It's episode freaking 9, and today we're going to be talking about expectations. So, yeah.
Whoa, another episode.
Wow, Matt, so enthusiastic. You seem very dead today, to be honest.
So tired already. I didn't even take a nap this time.
Oh, did you not?
I only had the time to take like a 15-minute nap, which is literally nothing because it takes me like 10 minutes to go to sleep. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, expectations. Do you want to start, Matthew?
All right, well, I guess our first bullet point was expectations that you put on yourself versus external pressure. And I guess to put that into perspective, I guess when I was younger, I would say I always felt like my parents expected a lot from me just because my sister was really good. I guess like in school, she was always top of the class. And so I felt like I had all this pressure to live up to the same standard that my sister put out. But I think like as I've grown older, I realized I don't think my parents really cared too much about that. And I think it was a lot of my own pressure that I was putting on myself that I thought my parents really wanted me to perform well. And then I put a lot of pressure on myself to be good. But then I don't know, I don't really like pressure. And I kind of the opposite now where I just kind of go with the flow. But I say when I was younger, I felt like I had to meet up to this unrealistic expectation. But yeah.
But when you're talking about these expectations, I guess in this context, you were just talking about like academic performance, right?
Yeah, for a lot of it was academic, right? Because my sister's 2 years older, so we went to the same elementary school, middle school, high school, and stuff. So a lot of, especially in the early stages of elementary school and middle school, a lot of our teachers would just be like, "Oh, are you your sister's brother?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, I am." And I just felt because she was so good that I had to always meet up to some sort of standard that I just couldn't.
I mean, this is sort of interesting because like you're the younger sibling and I'm the older sibling, so I can't relate to that, but I think my sister can relate to you, like for sure.
I mean, what is she supposed to live up to?
Matt! FYI, I performed fairly well in high school. I was actually not the best student, but I did really well.
Yeah.
And it's not like I was a teacher's pet or anything, but teachers definitely liked me. But point is, like, I definitely did better in school academically than my sister did, and I think she definitely did feel that sort of comparison. Like our teachers, like if we ever had the same teachers, they'd know, especially because
your last name's pretty.
Well, it's very unique, and so for the most part, they could tell, like, oh, like, are you like Katie's sister? And then I think one time she did tell me that one of our math teachers that we both had literally was like, oh, like you're Katie's sister? And then like he looked at her like test mark and was like what? Basically, like what happened here?
It's hurtful, but yeah.
I mean, and I can't imagine. I mean, like I never went through it, but I definitely feel for like younger siblings in that situation. Like I can imagine it just totally sucks to like be compared in that way and stuff, and like feel like you have to live up to it or whatever.
I definitely have a running theory though that the second child is always better than the first.
Why?
They're always taller, smarter, physically stronger. And I mean, I think at least so far, I'd say like 90%, I'd say the second sibling is always taller than the first. Your best friend, is her younger sister taller than her now?
No, she's just starting to be taller than me. My best friend's pretty tall. She's like 5'6", 5'7". Like for a girl, especially an Asian girl, that's fairly tall.
Yeah. So maybe that's the only thing. But I'd say like I'm taller than my sister in like friend group and like cousin group. I'd say most of the times the second one's taller, but I guess it also depends like who's the boy, who's the girl.
Yeah, it's also different. Yeah,
but I'd say like in your case, your sister's taller I'll say in my lab's case, there's two pairs of sisters, and the second one is also taller. I think it's just one of those things. It's true. The second child's just always better than the first.
It's not better. What I will
Hands
say
down.
is maybe you're better off because the parents make all the mistakes with the first child, and then they don't make all the same mistakes with the second one. You know?
But
Definitely.
I like to think like you can't really tell what's a mistake though until later on, right?
Well,
I'd say like,
sometimes you can, you know, like
but you and your sister are what, 3 years apart?
yes.
Yeah, and me and my sister are 2 years apart, right? Like they can't really tell if they screwed up the child.
Okay, not in that sense, but in terms of like parental care, like for example, like holy crap, didn't realize I shouldn't do that. Like,
But you're still alive.
yeah, but okay, for example, I don't know if I should be putting this out there about my parents. But basically, like my mom, this is when I was like a baby. I think I was like maybe 2 years old or something. And she put me on the kitchen counter apparently. And in our house, we have one of those like Asian water kettle things where it just keeps the hot, like it keeps the water hot all the time.
Yeah.
And then you can just dispense it from there, right?
Mm.
So apparently my mom put me on the counter and I was near one of those things and she turned around for a second and I guess I freaking pressed the button and the boiling hot water went on my freaking leg and I got like a, I don't know, a 2nd-degree burn or something. Like I got a very big burn on my leg. So that's what I'm saying. Like obviously once she made that mistake with me, she didn't make that mistake
but
again
do you
with
have
her
scars?
sister. I think I don't think I have a scar from that anymore.
Yeah, so you're fine.
Nah.
No, I say like that's more on a manufacturer's problem. You guys probably had like an old water kettle because you need to press 2 buttons to dispense.
Yeah, you do now.
Yeah, but probably back then.
Yeah.
It's kind of your fault for pressing the button.
I was a baby.
Yeah, but I feel like if I was a kid, I'd be smarter. You know, just wouldn't press that button.
That's what you think. But anyway, just, you know, so if anything, I just feel like the second child's better off because parents just know better of how to be parents.
Yeah, but maybe, you know, because they're the second child, you don't care as much. You know, it's like, okay, well, Katie got hot water on herself and she's fine. Like this second one, she's gonna be fine too. Like, you know what I mean? Where like you're just more relaxed because you realize that, not that it's not hard, right? But I assume it's just you've done it once before, so everything else just feels easier. So like, it's like, okay, I can be more relaxed. But I don't know. I've never had a kid, so.
That's true. Maybe we'll know one day, Matthew.
Yeah.
But you know, in terms of pressure, there's also just like different kinds of pressure, right? There is, I mean, considering we've been going to school for what, like 20 years or so out of our 24 years of life, that's obviously
I
a
mean,
big
you've pretty
one.
much been going to school all 24 years. Like I'm including university. Oh, I guess except the first 4 years. Sorry.
Yeah. Like I think I started when I was 3 or 4, preschool, and then ever since then it's been nonstop school. So obviously like academic pressure is a huge one. Although like when you're a kid, it's not so much academic pressure. It's like that doesn't start until you start getting like letter grades, right?
Mm-hmm.
But still, that's a huge portion of our lives. But then there's also, I guess, now that we're older, like job pressures, and then I don't know what else, like relationship pressures.
Yeah, I mean, there's always peer pressure. I mean, from but yeah, I don't know. I'd say like generally, I think I put more pressure on myself than anyone else does.
I think that's usually true, though, isn't it? Well,
yeah, because no one actually cares about you. So there is no pressure.
Actually, okay, I feel like that's true for people like us, like people who have at least some sort of ambition, you know, like there are obviously people out there who don't do much and are just content not doing much. And in that case, I guess they don't have much internal pressure. But Like, I don't think most people are like that. I think most people have goals and stuff. And in
Yeah.
that case, it is more internal pressure. Like, for me, like, obviously, my parents expect me to get a job, but it's more pressure on myself that I want to find like the right job for me and I don't want to settle. And like, I don't, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say it's also kind of, I'd say we've been kind of lucky. I think it's more of like Western culture where our parents don't really put a lot of pressure on us. I'd say if we're still if I lived in Hong Kong or something, there's a lot of pressure I feel like from parents to do well, just because yeah, I just feel like the whole culture is different where not like your parents live the child's success, but it's like bragging rights where oh like my kid managed to get into this school, like oh your kid only got into that school, like wow that's yeah. I'd say here not a lot of pressure. At least I used to think I had a lot of pressure, but really I think when I look back, I just know it was just myself giving myself these unrealistic expectations.
I
So, yeah.
mean, I always thought that my parents expected me to do well in school, but I kind of definitely expected myself to do well more so than they did, I
Mhm.
think. And it's weird when I first failed that university course, like I did keep it to myself for a while. Like I don't think I told my mom until this one time when I just like broke down. But when I did tell her, I think it probably also was because I literally broke down crying. But at that time, especially after that, I realized actually like she doesn't care that much. She just wants what's best for me. Like she's not like super pissed that I failed the course.
Yeah.
Like I guess that like I thought she'd be like super disappointed or angry or something, but honestly, like it was fine and she just wants me to do well basically. Like she doesn't care if I get straight A's, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like when if I ever have kids and stuff, I think I would give my kids pressure just because I think I would expect them to pass and not just pass, like I would expect them to do well. Like I don't think there's any like reason why they wouldn't do well. That makes sense. It's like I went through school and I did well and I'd say like I also played a lot of video games and stuff. And like obviously I wasn't top of the class or anything, but I still did well without having to put in like a lot of effort in the sense that like I didn't study every day and stuff. I would study the day before the test and like, I'd still do all my work and stuff, but I feel like I'd be upset if my kids didn't do well in school. But
I don't know. I think it's also different. At least like I don't know about you because you still did really well in post secondary, but I found post secondary school like a lot harder and very different from like high school. Like high school, I did really well, and like I'm not stupid or anything, but um, like
all right,
wait, I don't know
that's an
why I said
opinion.
that. Ah! No, okay, like I'm not saying like I'm the smartest person or anything, but I don't think, wait, is this making sense? Like, I don't think high school was that hard, but also I'm
Yeah.
not stupid. Like I'm, like, it's not like I'm stupid, but high school is easy enough that I still did like super well. Like, I think I'm reasonably smart, but high school wasn't that difficult. Whereas, like, I struggled a lot more in university and like I do have expectations to like not fail
Mhm.
courses,
Yeah.
but so it really hit, like it hurt when I failed that one course. Like in that situation, like if you were my parent knowing that like, I generally do well in school and I'd failed that course, would you still get upset in that case? I think
I think
it's
I think like if I knew you were trying, like truly trying, not just like, oh I'm trying, ha ha ha, like but you're still like doing nothing. But like if you were genuinely giving it a shot and you failed, then yeah, that's acceptable. But yeah, I don't think I would accept that as an excuse all the time. Like, oh I am trying. It's like, well, clearly you're not trying hard enough. Like, I don't know, like I also so today I went to a friend's house and her parents, well, her mom at least is a teacher, right? And she had this other person over, and like they were just talking about how it's so hard to fail kids now in like high school and like elementary school and stuff like that. Because like it's almost impossible to fail a kid unless they actually do something ridiculously, like they're just telling me stories where like they have kids that don't show up to class and stuff, but they still have to pass them just because like it's just like you can't fail the kids anymore. But obviously in university you can, right? In university it's pretty common to fail, I think, like, or at least to know that people can fail the course. But yeah, so they're just saying like it's almost like now our education system is just kind of like coddling the kids, but then when they hit university they lose a lot of confidence because all of a sudden they're not doing well because now they can actually fail, whereas before it would be kind of like participation. Wow, you made it, you showed up to class, here's 60%, like you're gonna pass. But in high school, I mean university, is not the same.
Yeah. It's weird though that like, I mean, it was long ago, but it wasn't that long ago. When I was in high school, they definitely failed kids, like the ones who didn't do their work and didn't show up. Like it makes sense to fail them.
But how many people do you know actually failed like grade 12?
Not
like obviously I don't think I knew that many, but there's maybe like one or two. I'm just guessing, right? From like my entire grade that would have failed grade 12. And I think there's probably a lot more that deserved to fail or like didn't have all they needed, but they just passed them because it's like it's high school, right? Like you're not gonna stop someone's life. But yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I wouldn't know, but at the same time, I think it was true even then, like when I was graduating from high school, that high school is a lot easier and a lot different from university, that it is a huge shock for most people. Like even for me, like I did really well in high school. Like my first year wasn't that bad, but obviously it was a far cry from like my straight A's in high school. I think my first year, definitely like throughout high school I basically got straight A's, and then first year I got like some B's. I got some like C pluses, I think. Like, you know, it was all across the board, and it was just like incredibly different from high school, and it was super weird. Yeah, I don't know.
You're just collecting all the letter grades.
Honestly, I don't think I have any A pluses. I think I have an A. I have some A's, I have some A minuses, B plus, B minus, C plus. How low does it go? No, I can't remember what the lowest mark I got, an F.
Yeah, about like your second lowest.
I don't know what my next lowest one is. Let's see, like I can't remember if I actually managed a C minus. It's pretty not great.
At the end of the day, though, right? It's kind of one of those things where it actually didn't matter. You still got your degree.
I mean, realistically, yeah. If I don't plan on like pursuing more school, like my grades really don't matter.
Yeah.
But for the people who are like, you know, law school or, you know, grad school or whatever, it does matter, right? Because you still need the grades to get into those.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But there's no need to put so much pressure on yourself. I really like the Lion King. Hakuna Matata means no worries.
Wait, you know, my ex-boyfriend, his dad is a dentist, and his parents wanted him to go into dentistry to take over his dad's practice, but after the first year of university, his grades were so bad that he realized he couldn't get into dentistry school. So that's why he's not a dentist.
A dentist? Yeah, but I mean, yeah, he's a computer scientist, right? I think I'd argue that's a better job than being a dentist, but I don't know. I've heard dentist suicide rates are like one of the highest, right?
Yeah, I think I've heard
that. It's not like a fun job, I would assume, because people kill themselves a lot. That and psychiatry. I think a lot of psychiatrists also kill themselves.
I mean, I do think the dentist thing is surprising, like in terms of suicide rate.
I wonder if that's actually true. I've heard that before, but I've never actually Googled it.
I can't remember if he told me that or not. I think I did ask him, like, does your dad like his work? And then he was just like, well, it doesn't matter if he does, because it's a little too late for him to change now, because his dad's almost retired.
No, but Dentists really are suicidal, as has been reported before. Physicians are even more likely to kill themselves, with a suicide rate nearly 100% above average. But yeah, the suicide rate of dentists is more than twice the rate of the general population and almost 3 times higher than any other white-collar workers. Interesting.
But it pays really well.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're going to kill yourself.
Well, just don't kill yourself.
Yeah. Apparently a lot of things. There's a lot of time pressures, isolation apparently.
Isolation? From who? What?
I don't know, dude. I'm not a dentist, so I wouldn't know. Okay, let me see. Occupation with most suicide. Men commit suicide at more than 3 times the regular rate for women. Are you still here? Or are you just like frozen in shock? Oh, okay. Yeah, you're just like not moving at all. But actually, construction has the highest suicide rate. Dentist isn't even in this, unless it's like healthcare support.
Well, it said
But yeah,
like in terms of white collar jobs, farming is not a white collar job.
I don't know, man. Construction and extraction is apparently the highest one. But healthcare practitioners and healthcare supports are also pretty high.
Mm.
But yeah, I don't know. Can't just trust one website, and I don't really want to look at more of them.
Now's not the time to research this, Matthew.
Oh my god, number 9 is scientists.
Don't die, Matt.
Then pharmacists, farm workers, electricians, real estate apparently, lawyers, financial planners. Oh, dentists is number 2 and doctors are number 1.
At the same time, though, do these numbers really affect you in any way?
Well, I know I'm not going to kill myself. At least I don't think I will. Unless like life takes a huge turn. Yeah.
Let me know if you're feeling suicidal.
I will. We could restart the podcast if that happens.
Would that help?
If anything, this podcast costs more stress than it's worth.
I feel like that wouldn't help. Did you want to move on to the next point? I feel like we kind of veered off of the
Yeah, I kind of like it better when we veer off.
Okay.
Better conversation anyways. I think sooner or later we did talk about it, but what's your favorite episode that we've done so far? And I honestly don't know. I might actually say making a podcast was our best episode.
Okay, I feel like there's a couple different ways to look at it though. Like favorite episode in terms of like you just think it sounds the best, or the most like favorite in terms of like actually.
Well, okay, I definitely know our worst episode, like episode 4.
What was episode 4?
Emotions versus logic. We were
that was
dead.
garbage.
Yeah, we were so dead talking about it, and we were just like, yeah, didn't really want to. But yeah, that's why I said episode 5 I think is our best one. It was because I remember episode 5 we actually talked for a while because we wanted to stop, right? But then we were like, oh, whatever, let's just keep going. And then like I think episode 5 was good enough that we're like, okay, let's keep going for a while.
That's making a podcast?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't really know. But do you want to talk about what it means to be a good person?
Okay. Do you want to start this one?
I don't know what it means to be a good person. I feel like this is one thing, how we've talked about how we realize like everything's gray.
Yeah.
I think this is one of those things, right? Like, I don't know what it means to be a good or bad person. Like, you can be a good person who does bad things, and you can also be a bad person who does good things. Like, where is the line,
Yeah. I think it's one of those. Sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I think it's just one of those things where, yes, I think good people can do bad things, right? But at some stage, if you just continuously do bad things, you're just a bad person. But at the same time, I don't think anyone ever thinks that they're a bad person, right? Like, I like to think I'm a good person, right? And I assume you do too. Because I think it's hard to live with yourself if you think you're truly not a good person.
Okay, but definitely, I think it's hard to categorize. I think it's hard to say specifically, like, where's the line? Like, oh, if you
Mm.
do one bad thing a day, that makes you a bad person.
Yeah.
Like, it also depends, like, what is that bad thing, right? There's different levels, but I think generally, it's like, if there's a guy who's a serial killer, you're not going to be like, nah, he's a good guy, even though, he serially murders people.
What if he's like Robin Hood or something where he's murdering, like, what if he's a murderer that kills other murderers? Do you know what I mean? Like, does that make him a good person? Because he's,
You're making it harder.
no, I think it was one of those things where, it's like a saying where if you kill a murderer, the number of murderers stays the same. Because like now you're a murderer, but then like the counterpoint is like not if you keep murdering other murderers, then there's less murders in the world because you're just killing them off. But yeah, I don't know.
Okay, well, then I don't know if there is a hard thing that everyone could agree that absolutely this is a bad person.
Yeah, I think obviously with everything has you have to consider the circumstances, but yeah, I'd say most of the times murder is probably not like a good thing to do. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's one of those weird things too, right? But obviously murder is bad, but people who go to war, right, like soldiers that like rack up a lot of kills are considered heroes. So it's like where do you draw the line, like between a hero? Because you're at the end of the day, you just killed someone else, right? Who has a family, who has like dreams, aspirations. So it's like,
It is true that, like, yeah, people don't consider, like, you wouldn't say just because, like, that person killed people that they're a bad person.
yeah. And I
But
guess
in,
at
yeah.
least in a war, right? Like the other person's trying to kill you too. So I guess that makes it more like fair game. Whereas, like, I'd say most serial murderers, you probably don't realize you're about to get murdered until they actually start stabbing you or something. So it's like not fair, if that makes sense.
Um, yeah, I don't know. Man, that makes it so tough. Because it's weird. I can't put a like criteria on it. There's no defining point or anything that makes a person good or bad. But I do feel like I can tell, or like I can at least feel whether a person is good or bad. Like, for sure, I don't think you're a bad person. Like, I don't think I would want someone in my life if I thought
Yeah,
they were a bad person, right? And when I think about my first boyfriend, I do think he's a bad person in hindsight,
yeah,
obviously, not at the time. But like, he cheated on me and he was super manipulative and like, he was very full of lies. And I
yeah,
think to that end, just like when you are someone who like manipulates people, uses people, is lying to them constantly, making them question their own freaking sanity. Like, I don't think you can consider someone like that a good person. Like, I definitely don't.
yeah,
And so I want nothing to do with someone like that, you know?
yeah. I think that makes sense, right? Obviously, I want to surround myself with people that are, at least I think are good and people that I can trust. And generally, I don't think I would trust someone if I think they're not a good person. Like, obviously, I don't think I always try to think about the person I want to be and like what steps I have to take to get to that point. And in terms of being good, just not like being nice. It's just, yeah, it's very hard to define like certain actions to become a good person. But the person I want to be is obviously someone who is trustworthy, who's kind of responsible, has control over their emotions. And like those things are what I think of as a good person, if that makes sense, or like certain attributes of a good person. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if anyone can ever truly be good, and if it actually even exists. Like, I don't think anyone can actually just genuinely be good. Yeah, but I don't know.
I think you can be good, but it's impossible for you to be good 100% of the time
Yeah,
and like 100% good. I think even the best person will still make mistakes and do some bad things.
Yeah, and also it's like just like there's so many opinions that even if I do something good for you, that might not be else might not think that was a good action. So it's like you can't ever make everyone happy. So like no matter
Yeah,
what, you're gonna be bad in someone's eyes.
like everything's great. It's kind of like I feel like I can think of an example for that, like how we were talking about breaking someone's trust.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if you broke my trust to tell someone that like a secret I told you that because you thought they would benefit from it. Like in your
Yeah.
eyes, you're doing good because you're helping that other person,
Yeah.
but other people might not see it that way.
You might think that was a bad choice, but at the same time, who cares what Katie thinks?
Huh. Yeah, I mean, I think the general societal expectation is that, like, okay, do you think people are inherently good or bad? Or like that people are generally good or bad? Or like
If
one
you
or the
asked me
other?
this maybe like a year ago, I'll tell you that I think everyone's inherently good. I For a while I did think like obviously I think people can do shitty things or bad things, but I always like to think because I don't think you could actually live with yourself if you truly thought you were a bad person. Do you know what I mean? I think even criminals and stuff that are like stealing food or like even if I don't know if like murderers think that they're good, but I think everyone has to have a motive or like a reason why they did it, and they think that that reason is valid. So in that sense, I used to think that everyone was good, but I just generally think because even let's bring it all the way to like anti-vaxxers, like flat earthers, like anti-mask people. Like I think they're doing a good thing. Do you know what I mean? Like flat earthers don't believe that the earth is flat, and they're trying to tell people because they truly believe that's the truth, and they're trying to educate people about it, right? Like they're not bad people, they're just dumb. No, like does that make sense?
Sort of.
Like I just don't think you could live with yourself if you weren't a good person. I think intrinsically everyone has to think that they are right and they are doing the right thing, or else you wouldn't want to live.
But then there is like a difference between thinking you are good and actually being good,
Yeah,
right?
definitely. Yeah, I just think that no matter what, people, that, I don't know, like, what do you think? Like, do you think people are inherently good?
I feel like I haven't really thought about this exactly before, to be honest. When you think of inherently good, are you saying like you think that everyone who's born on this planet, deep down, they are good, but like, you know,
Yeah, let's say like you're born good, but then it's the environment that shapes you to be who you are, right? Because I guess it goes to the argument of like nature versus nurture. Like, are you born good or are you taught to be good, kind of thing?
mhm.
And obviously, I think the right answer is it's kind of a mix of both. Like but yeah, because I like to think inherently, I think I'm a good person, right? But was that because of the way I was raised? Probably, right? I think certain values are instilled to us when we're born, and like
Yeah.
there's certain things that I think are right and think are wrong, and that kind of shapes who I am today.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm honestly not too sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's really hard to say. I don't know if I can say whether or not I think that we're all inherently like born good and that we either become good or bad through just like
Mm-hmm.
how we're raised and stuff. I do think for sure that like how like our environments have a major impact on like how we turn out and
Mm-hmm.
our values, etc., that make us good or bad. I don't know. It's really hard to say.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes like I like to think we are very fortunate. Like no matter what, like I think for both of us, I'd say like obviously I don't think like our situations are the perfect one, but I don't think a perfect situation exists. But I think like honestly, I think we were both raised pretty well, I would say. Like there wasn't truly too many issues. At least on my end, I can say there weren't too many issues when I was growing up.
I think things were much better when I was younger. I don't know. I think more people, I mean, for one, more problems have developed in like my
Yeah,
family as I got older, but also maybe as I've gotten older and become an adult, maybe I've also realized that there are more
yeah,
problems than I knew about when I was young.
yeah,
I mean, I think we can both agree. I think my family has more issues than yours does.
yeah,
But I think regardless of that, that in our families, like we were raised well in terms of like we have good values and stuff like that that we
yeah.
learned from like our parents and our just like living from school and our friends and stuff.
I think that wraps up our episode.
I was gonna say.
It's just like, yeah. I mean, do you want to do like a quick rundown of what you did today and stuff? And
Oh
then,
yeah,
or
sure.
like this week?
This week, okay, I can't think that far back because
Like,
it's weird because like every day is a little bit different. It's not exactly all the same on
yeah,
every day this past week. Like some days have been a little bit different. I've done different things, but it's still hard for me to remember like, wait, I don't know
yeah.
what happened what day and stuff. It's really weird. Like I have a hard time even remembering like what the heck did I do yesterday, you know? But I mean,
Okay,
at least
just say what you did today then, Katie, if you really can't remember. To the
okay.
doctors again.
Oh, wait, yeah, I went to the Chinese doctor yesterday. Speaking of which, I can literally smell my mom boiling Chinese medicine right now.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's helping or doing anything, to be honest.
yeah. I mean, I feel like it's because a lot of their things is about like helping your body recover and stuff. So it's, yeah, I'll be honest, when I was a kid and I drank Chinese medicine, I never felt like instantly better. Or I don't like, I never even knew if Chinese medicine worked because I'd always recover. Like, if I got sick, I'd recover in like 1 or 2 weeks. If I got sick and I took Chinese medicine, I'd still recover in like 1 or 2 weeks. So it really didn't make a difference for me. Like, I didn't know if it was actually helping, but
I
who
mean, like,
knows?
for me, I don't even know what the medicine's supposed to be treating. Like,
Oh
he
yeah,
told
because
me,
this
like,
is
I
just
have
about like,
heat in my heart, and I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, what symptoms am I supposed to be seeing, like, cured? I don't know if it's doing anything. Like, I'm
hopefully
still
I'll help you
getting bad
sleep.
sleep.
Yeah,
I mean, although tomorrow might also, after tomorrow happens, I might also get better sleep because I have less anxiety. Oh, wait, I don't think I finished my story earlier.
which story, Katie? Like,
About how after seeing the Chinese doctor, that oh no, maybe I did, that my mom said that, oh, I have some anxiety or worry and like that's bothering me, that's causing this disruption in my sleep and it's an endless cycle. That as soon as she said that, the first thing that came to mind is the thing tomorrow.
yeah,
It's been a major source of worry and anxiety.
yeah.
Yeah, thing
But
tomorrow.
at least you'll know tomorrow.
Yeah,
Send me a
then
text. Just
time
send me
to
like a
get my
smiley
hair.
face or a frowny face.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the first time I'm hanging out with my freaking ex-boyfriend since we broke up, like one-on-one. I don't think last time really counts.
Yeah.
But I don't know how it'll go. And then today woke up at 9:30, went to a hair consultation to figure out stuff to do to my hair, and then I actually went home for lunch and then went back at 1:30 and spent what 4 hours there from 1:30 to like 5:30 getting my hair sort of lifted back up to the roots, like the dye a little bit, blended, and then a haircut. My hair just feels, I'm just so happy that I got a haircut.
I don't wish you did it before and after, but I guess I can look at like the old like Zoom videos. But now that
Oh.
I like see your hair, like it just looks like not like I mean, like it looks natural now. Like I don't remember what your hair used to look like.
Yeah, it's also not like a drastic change. So like I honestly wouldn't have been surprised if you didn't notice at all. But
If
like
anything, I think I noticed because you're not wearing like pajamas and you're also not wearing glasses. But yeah, I think that helped me notice that your hair is definitely also different. Just because it is your hair normally wavy like that?
No, it's also
Yeah, that's
curled.
why. That's why it definitely looks different than normal.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I don't think, because in terms of color, it's not all that different from what I had before. It's just they lifted up the roots, which you can't super tell on camera anyways. The quality is not that good. And usually when we talk, the camera cuts off the bottom half anyway, so you couldn't have seen
Yeah, I
how
can't
long it
really see
was
the
before.
length. Yeah.
It is shorter, but anyway, it feels much nicer now. It's not so dead at the end. I had a lot of split ends before,
Yeah.
which they were so bad. Like if you picked a hair with a split end and you just pulled, like it would just break off.
Yeah. No, I
Um,
can't say I've ever had split ends. Just have such beautiful hair. Yeah.
and then yeah, the other thing was just went to see my best friend for a bit today. She made me a cake and yeah, I hung out and caught up with her a little bit, and then here we are, Matthew. That was my day. Do you want to give your update? I don't really. Oh, wait, actually, and I started applying for jobs
Oh
within the last
yes.
couple of days, and I finally finished my
Congratulations.
resume. The other day, I had to reach out to my friend because we took a course together in like a computer science course, and I needed to know like, oh, like what languages and stuff did we use because I couldn't remember. And then he was like I told him like, yeah, I just need to know because I'm doing my resume. And he was like, wait a second, didn't you say you were gonna do your resume like months ago when I was talking to you? And I was like, yeah.
At least you're getting to it now. Don't worry, Katie. I see the effort that's gone through. But yeah,
I'm making
I'm
progress.
gonna stop applauding you though because she stopped working out, and I feel like it's
I
because I've
didn't
given.
stop. I just haven't been as consistent. I
Yeah,
worked out today as much as I
I'm
didn't
still
want
super
to.
disappointed.
Um, yeah, so yeah, I don't know. That's
Yeah.
me. Why about you, Matthew? Give your life update.
Well, this week we didn't have group meetings, so that was nice. I really like so we have group meetings every 2 weeks or like individual meetings. So I meet up with my prof, but I really have gotten nothing done these past 2 weeks. I mean, everything that I've tried didn't really work. So I've been trying to remake some of the compounds,
Mm.
and those I haven't been able to remake them, which is really frustrating. Yeah, so I'm hoping in the next 3, 4 days I'll have enough results to present to him on Friday. But I also have been TAing a lot, and it's such a pain because I don't even. Yeah, it's like online TAing and stuff, and it's just awful. But today was pretty fun. Went out with like a lab mate, and we just volunteered for this rib fest thing where we just kind of got ribs, delivered them to houses. We only delivered to 2 houses, and it took us like 3.5 hours. So yeah, it was just a lot of waiting around. Then we just had dinner. Yeah, it was pretty nice. Pretty nice day overall.
You've been
And
playing League.
yeah, I started playing quite a bit of League this week too. It was funny because maybe like 2 weeks ago, I also had like a day where I played a lot, and my wrists actually hurt. I don't know if you ever knew this, but like pro gamers or like people who play a lot of video games, your wrists actually, like wrist injuries are a huge thing just because you're
Are
always
you
moving it.
kidding
Because you
me?
always move your wrist back and forth like to move the mouse, right? But like, you're generally supposed to use your arm, but obviously like a lot of people just use the wrist because that's a lot faster. But yeah, literally my wrist hurt after, and I was like, oh man, I'm getting old.
That's that's a shocker to me, and I'm in awe, but in a like, my God, you can get wrist injuries from being a gamer.
No, it's actually I don't know. Like, there's one really famous like League of Legends player, and I think he's like my age. He literally has diabetes because of like inactivity, of like not moving enough and stuff, and also because he's been playing since he was like 16 or something. His his wrist is actually like effed to like no tomorrow. Like he actually retired at like 23 or something because he just couldn't do it anymore. Like he was actually like his body couldn't do it anymore. It was just he was killing himself pretty much playing that game. Yeah.
I actually think that's very sad, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it's because one of those things where obviously like esports and stuff aren't taken as seriously as like traditional sports, but you're really playing the same game for like 12 hours a day, and like no matter what, that takes a toll on you. And honestly, I don't get how anyone can play the same game for that long. Like for like 8 years, you're just playing the same game, and like yeah, it changes and it updates, but I'd be so bored, like out of my mind, just trying to play the same game. I don't know how you would do it, but yeah.
I don't know, I can't relate. I don't play games at all. Except like I used to have a DS when I was a kid. Played
Hey,
some
didn't you
Pokemon
replay Zelda?
Diamond. Yeah, that
Did you
lasted
beat
for
it?
like 2, 3 days, and then I was like, nah, I'm done with it.
So I guess you didn't beat it.
No, I didn't. I've never beat it because I always just get bored and I can never get myself to finish.
I'd say the Zelda one on the DS wasn't that great. I think I beat it, but it wasn't as fun as say like on the Wii, like Twilight Princess. That was probably my favorite. And actually, that's the only Zelda game really, besides the DS one that I played. That one was really fun.
I mean, the other thing was that I think I got stuck and I had to look up a walkthrough, and then I was like, yeah, I don't really want to do this anymore.
Yeah, I'd say yeah. There's certain things where, especially if you want to collect everything, generally like you have. Well, you don't that you have to
There's
look at a
no way you
walkthrough.
would find them all like
Yeah,
within a reasonable amount of time, like by yourself without looking up a
yeah.
walkthrough.
I'd say in Twilight Princess, I remember there's these golden bugs that you can catch. And yeah, we definitely just searched up the walkthrough because they're just randomly around the world. It's like I'm never gonna find all these stupid little golden bugs. But yeah.
Well, how, like, what's the purpose of them? Just to collect them, or do they do something
I think
special?
once you collect enough of them, your bag of rupees, you can hold more coins.
Oh,
And like you needed to like buy certain things because you wouldn't ever be able to hold enough money to buy certain items. But
okay, I see. Um, yeah, and I guess the other thing is just that you got a free food delivery box, which
oh yes, we were both trying that now. But I mean, I already got my. I mean, I don't
delivery.
know if we should say their name, but like, yeah, we just got delivery food. I
Not
cooked.
sponsored.
Yeah, so it's just like got like a hamburger thing. So like, so sorry, they'll send you a box, and in the box is groceries and stuff, and also a recipe to cook whatever you chose. So I chose 3 recipes. One was a hamburger, one's like a chicken thing, and the other one's a salad. But yeah, I've only made the hamburger so far. But tomorrow I'll make the chicken, or maybe even tomorrow afternoon I'll make the chicken. I don't know.
Wait, if yours is 3 recipes for 2 people, does that mean you have enough for like 6 meals, like two of
Yeah,
each? Oh, wow.
yeah. But you chose the one for 4 people, right? So that's eight
Yeah.
meals technically.
Well, I'm not eating them all by
Yeah, I know,
myself.
but that's why I chose my meal because I didn't want to eat the same thing 4 times.
Oh, so technically you would have gotten more meals with the
Yeah,
other one, but it's just that less variety.
yeah, and I'm happy. I'm fine with it. I just wanted to test it out anyways, and it's kind of nice. It is pretty easy to follow their recipe. That's what I found. I mean, on the recipe thing, it said it would take about 30 minutes, and it really did take me about 30 minutes to prep everything and cook everything
Hmm.
because they have all the spices already made, and yeah, it was just pretty easy. I mean, I think it took longer just because I didn't have a big enough pan to cook everything at the same time, but
Mm.
definitely
Keep
pretty
in
fun.
mind just to make things less salty next time.
Yeah, it was actually pretty salty. And honestly, I don't think it was a pork burger, but I don't think I cooked the pork all the way through. It's definitely still a bit red on the inside, but I just ate it anyways, and I'm still fine. I don't think you can get sick by pork. I don't think.
Isn't pork one of those ones that you're supposed to cook through, though?
Yeah, but I don't think there's actually a reason for it. Like I know for chicken you can get salmonella, but I don't know what you can get from pork. Might be E. coli, but yeah, I don't know. I'm
Oh,
fine, and it's been like 4 or 5 days, so I assume
I mean, at this
food
point, you're
is fine.
probably fine.
Yeah.
But, I heard when I was at my hair appointment today, there was a lady next to me who was getting her hair washed, and she was saying, so, the lakes out here, like White Pine, like that area. Apparently today was like really hot. It was like 30 degrees, super sunny.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently this lady was saying all those parks were full by 8:30 this morning. And apparently also she was saying the lake there is like there's E. coli in it now or something. And I don't know if I heard this right. She was saying like, I guess people don't trust or want to use the public bathroom, so they just pee in the lake. So I don't know if that even causes E. coli, but yeah, I don't know how true that is. But anyway, that's what I
Yeah, but I
overheard
mean,
today.
there's always like E. coli. You already have E. coli in your gut and stuff, right? It's just certain strains of it are dangerous. Like it's not like every strain of E. coli is gonna kill you. Like I'm pretty sure we have E. coli in our guts. Like it's like, but that's like a normal one. It's just certain strains are more deadly.
Oh, wait. And the other day I was walking my dog. I didn't tell you this, but Max,
That's her dog.
when he sees other dogs, he tends to like freak out and go like barking and charging at them. So I stood in his way because I thought maybe if I like block his way and he doesn't see the dog,
Did he just
he
bite
won't do
you?
that. Yeah. Well, unintentionally, because I think he still saw the dog, so he went to bark, but I was standing there, and so he ended up biting me and drawing
Is
blood.
that actually? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh!
It still really hurts, actually.
Did you? Do you need to get a shot for that? No, right? Like,
I don't
because
think
I
so
assume
because
Max has all his
yeah,
shots.
he has his like rabies shots and stuff, so I don't think I need it, but it still really hurts. Like it
Yeah,
hurts so much when he bit. Like it actually freaking drew blood and
I
oh
can
my
just
god.
imagine you screaming, and the other dog owners just like, "What the heck's wrong with this girl?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's you know, that's yeah. Let's yeah, that
Wow, that was a great sentence there. I'm gonna keep that one in.
no. Anyway, I guess that's everything, right?
I think that wraps it up. It's a
This
good
all
episode. You know,
still
we
turned
talked
out
about
longer than I
expectations.
expected.
Yeah, no, I mean we're generally actually running out of ideas. So if we can just talk and chill, like I think that's pretty good. Still got 4 episodes to go after this. So 10, 11, 12, 13. So see how it goes.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
guess we will. Anyway. All right, bye.
bye bye.